Say what you like about Wizards of the Coast, they always keep giving it a good college try. Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander, where today we're taking a look at the new bracket system put up by Wizards of the Coast, what it means, explaining some key terms, and eventually just giving my thoughts on it. As always, if you like any of the cards you see here in this video, make sure you use our links in the description box below for any of our lovely affiliates to make your purchases. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but really helps the channel out quite a lot. And as always, all prices you see here today are provided by the fabulous sponsor of our channel, the amazing cardmarket.com. Now, let's get to it. On February the 11th, Gavin Verhey of Wizards of the Coast and now the Commander Design Committee put out a video on his YouTube channel of Good Morning Magic. Here, Gavin unveiled the new bracket system, a means for people to talk about their decks to other people in other playgroups or when you're traveling, to help ascertain power levels and strategies, and essentially try and get everyone on the same page, rather than your usual playgroup where everyone knows that the second you pull out your Kenrith deck, you're dying first. So, what are the brackets and what do they look like? The first bracket is for exhibition decks, super casual decks, what a lot of us would usually characterize as meme decks, or decks made exclusive of draft shaft or giving out cards. Sheer decks just for the hell of it. Core is your pre-con deck levels that are produced by Wizards of the Coast, what feels like almost every single month nowadays. Here, the only difference being is you aren't going to be looking to chain extra turns together with cards like Time Sieve or Temporal Mastery, and then, some way of copying or getting these cards or spells back. Still, we're not playing any 2-card combos here, we have limited tutors and no game-changing cards, which, we'll be getting to what those are in a second. But I do want to pause here to ask one quick question. What do you mean by a few? Now, according to the Oxford Standard English Dictionary, the definition of the word a few is a small number or used to emphasize a small number of things. Well, that didn't bloody help, did it? Basically, I have two small gripes with this particular line of text. Do you mean 2, 3, or heck, even 4 tutors? And which tutors are acceptable? Any of the Forerunners I certainly wouldn't object to seeing in any of their respected kindred decks. But an Elredamri's Call when playing against a Voja deck, well, that spells tutor with a D, E, A, T, and then a H. So that is definitely one thing they could do with a little bit of clarification. On to the upgraded decks, these are where you have your late game 2-card combos, which I'm not really sure what clarifies as a late game 2-card combo. And we'll have 3 of the game-changing cards in the deck. Moving on to Optimised is high power commander with absolutely no restrictions beyond the ban list. And then we get to cEDH, which is the exact same thing, but the messaging is different. Okay, we're just going to quickly go over the difference between what an optimized deck is and what a cEDH deck is, because I've seen some people getting it wrong, just misinterpreting it, or just quite frankly, playing dumb about it. We'll take the example of my Dragon deck. I love my Dragon deck. It's got tutors up the wazoo, and it is optimized to nearly just about as much as I can physically do so without throwing in dual lands into it. It, however, will never be cEDH. cEDH is where your sole focus is winning the game of Commander. You might like the Commander, sure, feel even a special affinity for it, if you'll pardon the pun. But your focus is power and winning and the current meta of cEDH. Cards are not put in for synergy or flavor or Vorthos shenanigans. They are put in there to win the game and nothing else. That's the difference. It's where Esper, Sentinel, Mystic Remora and Mana Vault all live side by side in pretty much any deck that can run them, and where Thoracle remains supreme. May her broken ETB ever be filled with grace. So that's the difference between the 4s and the 5s, but what about the rest of the brackets? Well, the main difference is the game-changing cards, where we go from 0 to 0 and then to 3 in the third bracket. So let's actually take a look at what the game-changing cards are. So, the first thing I noticed when looking at this list is, wow, if you ever want the visual representation to show Red's lack of power in Commander, well, there you go. White gets 5 cards, blue has 9, black gets 7, red 2, green 3, multicolored 4, and colorless 10. These are generally just tutors in Mystic, Demonic, Enlightened, then, Imperial, Serial, and Vampiric tutor, which I guess will also count Survival of the Fittest in there too. Which, that's kind of weird that Worldly tutor didn't make the cut in there, but apparently creatures just aren't that much of an issue. So anyway, here are some creatures that are definitely an issue. Now I do want to preface this by saying I do pretty much agree with just about all of these choices. Draneth literally stops you playing the format's namesake cards, i.e. the commanders. Urza is busted as hell across all power levels and impossible to build fairly. Oppo makes fetching a land impossible, and T-Grid was honestly a design mistake. Then the multicolored Yuriko, Winota, and Grand Arbiter are just a complete pain to play against, and Kinnan did absolutely nothing wrong. I question the inclusion of Jin and Vorinclex a bit. I mean, I get they really suck as cards, but they've also a ton of mana, which honestly, I can Crater Huff for 8 mana, and let me tell you, I'd rather be Crater Huffing for 8 mana. Honestly, unless these are cheated out, they're kind of weird cards to see here, and if you are cheating these out in lower powered games, then, well, seek help. Now, being completely and totally honest, I've been on a personal emotional roller coaster with these brackets. When they first came out, I hated them. Trying to distill the entire complex nature of a human interaction and deck building down into 5 categories, well, quite frankly, it's like trying to fit an entire Chinese free-for-all buffet into a 20-minute lunch slot. It's not going to go well, and you're just going to end up feeling sick afterwards. But I've kind of really warmed to the idea of them because realistically, they're not for me specifically. It's for people at newer LGSs or events to have a quick go-to shorthand to try and effectively communicate their deck's power in a way that everyone can understand, or at the very least, look up on their phone very quickly. It's a nice little way to shortcut an otherwise tenuous and extraneously painful set of discussions rather easily and conveniently, and I quite like that. My main worrying concern is the game changer list. As I said, the Phyrexians seem kind of really out of place to me. I genuinely cannot remember the last time I saw a Vorinclex. It's been literally years. And Jin I only ever see in Kinnan lists. Where's Stasis, for instance? Or heck, if we're just really out for the Praetors, then where's Elish Norn, a card that will 100% break the back of pretty much any token or elf strategy? Now, look, I'm being kind of a little facetious here. I do get the fact they're in there because they deny resources in either making your opponents discard your hands or making sure their mana doesn't untap. I do get that. But surely by that logic, Stasis is just as bad. But beyond that minor gripe, I would say the brackets and the game changes are kind of a step in the right direction. Yeah, it'll take time for everyone to get used to it and maybe start using that vocab if they really want to. But honestly, I think it's quite good that we now have a shorthand that can be used. And hell, I'm even slightly optimistic and hopeful for that little tidbit of information Gavin put when he was being interviewed about the fact that there might be some potential unbans in April if the format keeps going a certain way. Come on, Biorhythm and Coalition victory. Come on, boys. Please. God, just this once. Please. And that'll be the end of the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of the new bracket system and the game changer list? Whatever your thoughts, leave them in the comments below. As always, all Affinity for Commander content is made possible thanks to the support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. If you too like to become a patron of the channel and get access to our Discord server and other patron rewards, then check out our link in the description box below. You can also support the channel through the quick and easy ways, liking this video, subscribing, commenting, hitting that bell icon, and sharing it on your preferred social media platform. But as always guys, I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.